You ever have one of those neighbors who thinks they run the whole damn block? Yeah, that's Karen. Not her real name, but it fits like a glove. I'm Jake, just a guy trying to live my life in a cookie-cutter suburb outside Raleigh, where the houses all look the same and the HOA rules read like a prison handbook. My story starts with a stupid mailbox. Of all things. See? I'd been living in this neighborhood for about 2 years, keeping my head down, mowing my lawn on schedule, and nodding politely at the nosy types who'd side-eye my slightly weathered mailbox. It was one of those standard black ones. Nothing fancy, but it did the job. Then Karen, the HOA's self-appointed queen, decided it was her personal mission to make my life hell. It all kicked off one muggy July evening. I'm chilling on my porch with a beer, watching the fireflies, when Karen struts up my driveway like she's auditioning for a reality show. "Jake," she says, her voice all syrupy condescension, "your mailbox is looking rustic. It's dragging down property values." I blink, thinking she's joking, but her pursed lips and clipboard say otherwise. Rustic. It's a mailbox, not a barn. I laugh it off. Say I'll get to it, but she's not having it. The HOA has standards. Jake, fix it by next week, or you're getting a fine. She hands me a neon yellow violation notice like it's a court summons and sachets back to her McMansion across the street. I'm pissed, but I'm not about to let Karen ruin my vibe. Not yet. The next day, I check the mailbox. Sure, it's got a few scratches. Maybe a dent from when a kid on a bike crashed into it last summer, but it's fine. Functional. I figure I'll slap some paint on it and call it a day. But then I get a text from my buddy Mike, who lives a few houses down. "Dude, Karen's been whining about your mailbox at the HOA meeting. She called it an eyesore." An eyesore? My blood's boiling now. This isn't about the mailbox, it's about Karen flexing her petty power. She's the kind of person who'd measure your grass with a ruler and report you for being a quarter-inch over regulation. I decide right then, I'm not just fixing this mailbox. I'm going to make a statement. Here's where things get fun. I'm not a rich guy, but I've got a friend who knows a guy who does custom metal work. I call him up, tell him my plan, and he's all in. "You want a mailbox that'll make her head explode," he says, laughing. I got you. A week later, I'm staring at the most ridiculous, over-the-top, gold-plated mailbox you've ever seen. It's shiny enough to blind you in direct sunlight, with ornate curls and a little crown on top like it belongs in a palace. It cost me a chunk of change, but it's worth every penny for the look I know it'll put on Karen's face. I install it myself, right before the HOA's next inspection, and I make sure it's bolted down so tight not even a hurricane could move it. The morning of the inspection, I'm up early, sipping coffee on my porch, waiting for the show. Karen rolls up in her golf cart because of course she has one clipboard in hand, ready to write me up. She stops dead when she sees the mailbox. Her jaw drops, and for a solid 10 seconds, she just stares, her sunglasses slipping down her nose. What? Is that she finally sputters. I grin, leaning back in my chair. "You said my mailbox was rustic." "Karen, figured I'd upgrade." "You like it?" She's turning red, stammering about how it's not in compliance with HOA aesthetic guidelines, but I cut her off. "Show me the rule that says I can't have a gold mailbox." She flips through her rule book, but she's got nothing. I'd checked the bylaws, there's no rule against going over the top. just against looking unkempt. Checkmate. Karen's not done, though. She storms off, promising to take this to the board. Over the next few days, she rallies her HOA minions, sending me letters about community standards and excessive ostentation. Ostentation, lady? You called my mailbox rustic. I lean into it. I start parking my beat-up pickup truck right in front of the mailbox, just to make it pop even more. Neighbors start noticing. Mike's loving it, snapping pics and posting them on the neighborhood Facebook group with captions like mailbox goals. Even old Mrs. Henderson, who usually sides with Karen, stops by to say it's fancy as hell. But Karen's losing it. She starts leaving passive-aggressive notes in my mailbox. Ironic, right? Saying things like, "This is a neighborhood, not a circus." The real twist comes when I find out Karen's been sneaking around at night, trying to sabotage my masterpiece. I catch her on my Ring camera, spray paint can in hand, ready to deface my gold-plated beauty. That's when I decide to go full petty. I print out a still from the footage, blow it up poster size, and stick it on a sign in my yard. Karen's rules suck in bright red spray paint. I add a little note. Caught you. Karen, keep your paint off my mailbox. The neighborhood loses its mind. People are whispering at mailboxes, gossiping over fences. Karen's humiliated, and for once, she's got no comeback. The HOA board, probably tired of her drama, tells her to drop it. My mailbox stays. In the end, Karen's reign of terror takes a hit. She's still strutting around with her clipboard, but people aren't as quick to bow down anymore. My gold mailbox becomes the talk of the block, a shiny middle finger to HOA nonsense. I'm not saying I've won the war, but I've definitely won this battle. Sometimes you gotta fight petty with pettier. So, what do you think? Was I wrong to go full gold-plated chaos? Or was Karen asking for it? Drop your take below, I'm dying to hear it. The end.